Aloha, good morning, and welcome to this Facebook Live on the Opua system of energy symbols. It's a Hawaiian system, and its nearest parallel that I can think of is Reiki, although it's not Reiki. And I thought today it'd be interesting to share that with you, so that you get a sense of some of the other things that go on in the Hawaiian system. Everybody knows about Ho'oponopono. A lot of people have heard about some of the Hawaiian release techniques, some of the Hawaiian principles, and that kind of thing. But the Opua, the symbol system, is pretty unique, and not many people know it, not many people teach it, but it is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So the Opua system, it's an ancient system, and it was formalized in the 1850s by a kahuna, spiritual leader, let's say, by the name of Kuauha'ali'i. And he was tasked by the then monarch to go round the Hawaiian Islands and to collect the wisdom, because by then they had writing. The Hawaiian tradition was largely oral, but by then they had writing, and he actually wrote stuff down in a book. He was writing the traditions down because they had an awareness that a lot of the traditions, if they didn't collect them, the traditions would be lost. So he was writing them down. And in this book, which includes chants, it includes genealogy and other information. The chants, by the way, in Hawaiian, because it was an oral tradition, the chants carry a lot of information about history and learning and wisdom. They're amazingly informative, as well as telling good stories. So there was chants, there's genealogy, and then there was this set of diagrams, I suppose, which were energy systems known as the Opua. And they looked a little bit like, there's 36 of them. They were done in black and white drawing, but this is the sort of thing that you might see, if I can get this to work. That's the sort of thing that you might see. They're all different. And each symbol is an aspect of the goddess Uli, Navahine, as it's more commonly known, which is the highest feminine energy on the planet. So why is this interesting in the first place? Well, if you studied Reiki, you know the power of energy, and you know the power of channeling energy in a particular way. The Opua, there are 36 of them, and they are 36 aspects of the highest feminine energy on the planet. Imagine that. Imagine being able to bring in 36 ways of bringing in the highest feminine energy on the planet. It's powerful. And when you're initiated, when you have access to all 36, as I do, it really, really enhances your ability to run energy through your own body, to direct energy towards other people if they need it for healing purposes or clearing purposes or whatever. And also to sit in a room still, very still, and just hold the room in a great space. And that for me is critical in my teaching. With the forgiveness challenge, there was 150 people in the forgiveness challenge, and the forgiveness challenge ran, although nominally it was for 10 days, it was actually for 15. So I had to hold space for 150 people for 15 days. If I didn't have this, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So it's really powerful for holding energy, for running energy, for healing work, and for clearing work. So the story goes that the gentleman Kuauha'ali'i, as I say, he was tasked by the monarch to toddle around the islands and pick up as much knowledge as possible. So in his book, we just have the symbols, little black and white glyphs, line drawings of the symbols, the name of the symbol and the number of the symbol. And it's from the name and the number that we first started to get clues as to really what they were about. Now, I say this is older than Reiki because this was laid down in the 1850s, 1860s. Reiki really came into consciousness in the 1920s. I suspect they're probably, if you go back in time, they're probably as old as each other. Who knows? But this was available to modern consciousness, if you like, in the 1850s. But when Kuahali'i died, he passed the book to a family for safekeeping. And he said, the time will come when you know who to give this book to, and they will be able to translate these symbols, take the knowledge, and work with it. We were very lucky. My teacher's teacher, my teacher's father, Tade James, who I originally studied with, was given the book, or a copy of the book, by a lady. Her grandmother had had a dream. She'd had the dream. She knew that he was the man. Gave him a copy of the book, and in it all the symbols. Each of the symbols, as I say, is an aspect of the highest feminine energy on the planet. So with each of the symbols, we're working with them in a different way. So one of the Opua, we call them Opua because collectively that's what they're known as. So one of the Opua is like the dyna rod of energy clearance. It brings down the energy like the thunder, and it strikes the earth and it blasts the energy through. So, and it's great for clearing out for clearing out energies that are a bit stuck. Some of them are very loving. There's one that Kau Ula Ula. It's all about the energy of the heart. There are some that are very fiery, and there are some that are more watery, some that are more earthy, some that are more airy, and some of them don't really have an element associated, or they have all the elements mixed in. We're the only lineage that teaches this that we know of in Hawaii, because, as I say, the book was put away, it was carefully guarded, and then was brought out at an appropriate time. So as far as I know, we're the only lineage who teach these 36 symbols. 36 symbols is a lot. It's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of knowledge. So we tend to teach it to people in groups of 4, because with a group of 4 symbols, you can start to really move the energy, tune into the energy, know the energy, familiarize yourself with the energy. So we start with 4, and we start with 4 that are most used, one of them including the kahikili naue ika honua, as I say, the dyna rod, or if you're in the States, the root, I believe, of the energy system. And we teach them in groups of 4, and gradually we build up that knowledge. And I have to say that for me personally, it's totally transformed my life. People often comment on the fact that I can sit in a room still and just hold the energy, and I'm not doing anything really. It's just I allow it to flow through me, and that holds the space. So it's a great tool for that. I use it with my clients. Sometimes I'll do it with bells and whistles, and sometimes not. So if I were to, I don't know how, it doesn't necessarily come across very well on a video, but if I were to put it out on the video, so I will, the bells and whistles version. So that's for clearing. That's for moving, shifting the energy. So that's the bells and whistles version. And sometimes with my clients, I'll just do it very quietly. It'll just be, I might even just hold my hand up, and I might even do it while I'm just talking to them, and I'm sending energy, and it's the energy. The intention is really important. Intention's always important with energy. When I hear about, oh, send some energy. Have intention. What kind of energy, what quality of energy do you want to send? What purpose? Do you want it to heal? Do you want it to shift people? Do you want it to calm them down? Why are you sending energy? What is the purpose, and what is the intention? And so often I hear, oh, send some energy. Duh, what kind? So have intention, whether you're familiar with these symbols or not. Have intention when you send energy to somebody, when you flow energy to somebody. So we do it with intention, we do it with purpose. Each symbol has a name, each symbol has a meaning. We know what the purpose of each symbol is. We know what it can be used for. So we do it with intention. I would never use kahikili na ue I ka honua, the lightning strikes the earth and makes it rock. I would never use that for somebody who basically needed just pure love, calming, healing energy. I'd use a different symbol for that. So having the intention, having the clarity, knowing what it is you want to achieve, very important. One of the symbols that we have, one of the Opua, Vahahamama, is great, absolutely great for learning. It means the open mouth or the revealer of secrets. And when I open a book, if I'm doing some studying, before I actually get into the book, I will just put that into the book to open up the secrets of the book and make the learning easier for me. I also do it in classes when I'm preparing a room. I'll put the Opua for learning and opening up secrets. I'll put it into the room so that my students are opened up to the secrets, they're opened up to the learning, and they get the learning quicker. Because if you're there to learn, you want to get it as quickly as possible, don't you? I think. So they can be used in many different situations. I've used them in corporate situations. I've used them in non-corporate situations. I've used them with clients for more healing purposes. I've used them with clients for coaching purposes. And I've even used them, I used to tutor teenage kids, and I've used them to inspire the teenage kids. Because as you know, sometimes when you're working with a teenager, they can be a little bit uninspired. And it's amazing how it shifts them, because kids tend to be very sensitive to energy. So when you work with them with this kind of focused, intentional energy, they respond really, really well. They're really, really aware of it. So that is the Opua. If you want to know more, if you would like to learn the first 4, then come along 23rd, 24th of February, come along to Oxford. If you go to secretartofhuna.com/live, then you can find the information about that. And that's one of the things that we will be teaching. In fact, we'll spend most of the second day working with energy, and I will be teaching you your 4 first Opua. On the first day, we'll be doing a lot of work on emotional clearing, emotional release, and forgiveness. And it's an opportunity, if you are struggling with forgiveness, if you would want to know more about Ho'oponopono, or if self-forgiveness is an issue, the more work I'm doing on this, the more I'm finding the relationship between self-forgiveness and the release of things like shame, resentment, hurt, towards resentment and hurt towards self, particularly, the more I am finding that these tools are incredibly, incredibly powerful. And there's not much out there about self-forgiveness. So if that's something that would be interesting, would be useful, that might transform your life. If you're carrying around a burden of shame or resentment or guilt, come along. As I say, 23rd, 24th of February, and it's going to be in Oxford. I hope this was interesting, a little insight into some of the other aspects of Huna and the Hawaiian energy systems. Mine is just one way. My lineage is just one way. What I know is just one way. I'm not saying it's the whole truth. There are many paths to the light. So it's one path to the light. And if you want to know more, do get in touch, message, or put a little comment on the Secret Art of Huna page, and let's have a discussion about it. Have a great day. Bye.